Okay, on to the main event. So every year, we try to assess what topics we should cover in our annual business update. Naturally, we're going to have the three major employers on the Thames River here, the Navy, EB, and Pfizer. And we can't overlook Mystic, which is a confederation of businesses that, in the whole, is a very big force here, bringing tourism to our region. And as a result of the market and zoning study, John Reiner is sifting through. A lot of suggestions came out of how to make Groton a better place, more economically feasible. And one of those was about the shopping district, Route 1. We said, that ought to be, that's kind of an important topic, a timely topic, so that's on the agenda here today as well. So what I'd like to do is get started with our panelists. And our first panelist is Ken Hiscoe from Pfizer. And, it's easy to say, Pfizer's downsizing and all this and that, but Pfizer is still Pfizer. They're a big employer. They're a big presence. They have a lot of smart people working there and getting involved in our community. So it's wonderful to have them, even though they may be slightly smaller than they've been in the past. Ken Hiscoe is the Director of Corporate Affairs and Government Relations for Pfizer. He brings 18 years of combined experience in government, pharmaceutical industry, and government relations, and responsible for developing and implementing coordinated strategies to ensure Pfizer's policy and public affairs strategies align with business and enterprise-wide objectives. He started at Pfizer in 2007 as Director of Public Affairs here in Groton. He's up top now, lives in Franklin. So he came all the way from Franklin today, so we appreciate that. Big Patriots fan, which I am too. So with that, Ken, if you could.
Thank you, Al, very much. And can everyone hear me okay? Great. We've got some really great news at Pfizer. We are absolutely thriving at our site. Since January 2013, we've added about 400 new employees to the site, and we're actively hiring. We have just held a new colleague reception for about 40 new colleagues who have joined Pfizer since January 2013. Many of you know Rod McKenzie, who led our site for many years. Rod was recently tapped by our CEO, Ian Reed, to oversee global product development in New York. John Burkhart recently rejoined Pfizer as the head of global drug safety and research and was appointed as Groton's new site leader as well. John knows Pfizer well. He worked at Pfizer for 15 years prior to heading preclinical safety at AbbVie. So he has rejoined Pfizer, and we're thrilled to have him. He's just beginning to get out to meet leaders, business and community leaders, and unfortunately he had a commitment today. He couldn't be here, but you'll certainly be seeing and hearing a lot from John. I'd also like to recognize Barb Geer. Barb is our site affairs lead for Groton Labs, so thank you, Barb, for coming and for all your good work at the site. Pfizer is one of the largest private employers in the state and a leader in innovation in the life sciences industry. We have more than 3,000 colleagues working, full-time colleagues working in Groton at our site, and that's in addition to an extra 3,500 contractors that work at the site. As mentioned, we've hired 400 new colleagues over the past 2 years. The jobs in Groton, the 3,000 jobs, also support an additional 12,000 jobs throughout the state. We paid about $54 million in taxes just in Connecticut alone last year, and that includes $10 million in taxes to Groton. The labs in Groton remain essential to our success throughout our global footprint. The work performed in Groton by Groton colleagues is not duplicated anywhere else in the company, and that's critical. It's not like we have the same function over in Cambridge in the UK and in other places throughout the world. It remains our largest R&D facility throughout our global network. It's a 160-acre site, for those of you who are not familiar with it. about 2.8 million square feet of state-of-the-art lab facilities there. As I mentioned, the work that's done in Groton is not duplicated anywhere else. Nearly every single Pfizer medicine that's developed throughout our company is in part developed by someone in Groton, including inventing new drug formularies, study how drugs act and react in the body. They oversee clinical trials globally. They improve drug safety profiles, and also they manufacture and label and ship drugs to our clinical sites throughout the world. Our pipeline, which we refer to what we have in our pipeline, is very robust. Right now we've got a total of 86 drugs in our pipeline. Phase 1, which is the earliest phase, there's 33. In Phase 2, 16 drugs. Phase 3, 30 drugs. And in registration, so registration with the FDA, there are 7 drug candidates right now. So that is, we're thrilled with the progress that we've been making in our pipeline. A little bit about the site as an update. In 2014, obviously we did some downsizing that I'm sure everyone knows about. And in 2014, we donated a laboratory to CURE, which is Connecticut United for Research Excellence. It's a nonprofit biotech network. They are just about to open up an incubator with the building and the lab space that we donated to help life sciences startup companies in Connecticut. It's a state-of-the-art facility. I think they're going to be having an opening house next month, June 14th, I think. I should have had that down, but we can get it for you, for sure. So leasing is already underway for entrepreneurs and small startup companies who are interested in using the space. We also leased another building, different building, to the state of Connecticut for use as its primary IT data center. This is probably the deal of the century, $1 per year. That deal, however, saved taxpayers more than $40 million. I think the state was looking at building a brand new IT data center, but this fit the bill, and they certainly got a good deal on it. It also, in addition to the $40 million in savings, it cut their state operating cost by $600,000 per year. We've been doing some major capital work at the site over the last year. That includes the new fuel cell power project that you may have read about in the day. Also repurposing a lot of our space. One area in particular is a conference center, including a 150-seat auditorium. All in, over the last year in 2015, we've invested over $20 million in the site, in changes at the site alone. A lot more to come this year to accommodate the changing technology. As far as our colleagues, they are quite active in the community. Last year alone, colleagues donated $4.1 million through themselves and the Pfizer Foundation to nonprofit organizations here in Connecticut. The bulk of that is right here in this area. They've also logged in 3,000 volunteer hours given to local community nonprofits. We've provided 50 community grants awarded to local nonprofit organizations. We've also provided 15 scholarships to high school students in Connecticut and a couple in Rhode Island. And also very proud to be named the 2015 United Way of Southeastern Connecticut Campaign Committee of the Year. In addition to that, we realize that there are patients who need help with their coverage of their medications if they don't have insurance or they're underinsured. Last year alone, we gave out 4,500 prescriptions to Connecticut residents alone. Our therapeutic area remains the same, unchanged: immunology and inflammation, cardiovascular metabolic disease, oncology, vaccines, neuroscience, and pain and rare disease. Globally, we've got north of 85,000 employees. Like I said, the site in Groton is changing certainly and thriving. So with that, Al, I'll wrap it up and questions after, or? Okay, great. Well, thank you very much for your time.